He says, so here's the deal. My girlfriend, a 27-year-old female of 2 years, and I planned a 2-week vacation to Italy. I paid for the flights, hotels, everything, because I make more than she does, and I want it to be a stress-free trip for the both of us. Smack! Who cares if you make more than she does? She obviously has a job, has an income. She can pay for some things. You're spoiling her. And when guys do that, they oftentimes set the stage that the woman thinks that she can get away with anything. And guess what? You're going to see that's exactly it. And you want it to be stress-free because you want her bitching about it. Everything was great until the last day when she tells me that she wants to stay longer to find herself and think about our relationship without me. She didn't discuss this with me beforehand, and it completely blindsided me. You paid for a 2-week trip to Italy, which I guarantee wasn't cheap unless you were staying in hostels and that type of thing. And the last day she informs you she wants to stay longer to find herself and think about the relationship, but you can't be there. After everything you've done for her, and obviously I'm sure back home you probably pay for almost everything. No. You can stay. Unbelievable. Well, no, it is believable. But remember him paying for everything and putting her in a certain mindset? Well, you're going to find out what's going on here. I was hurt by this and told her that if she feels she needs time alone, then she should be independent financially during this extension of her trip. I said I would not be paying for her new return ticket whenever she decides to come back. Good for you, bro. Thank God you're standing up for yourself. Now she's upset, calling me unsupportive and selfish, and some of our friends are saying I'm being an a-hole because I left her stranded in a foreign country without financial help. Number one, she, I'm sure, has a credit card or 2 or 3 or 4. She has money. She can pay for these things. And the friends are telling you what's what? It's none of your friend's business. But of course she has to go tell them. I tell these friends to F off how she's behaving here. But we all know darn well this suddenly having to find herself and everything, but you can't be there. What does that spell? Cheater. Another guy. She found some Italian sausage probably when this guy was in the bathroom or something. He says, Sir Reddit, am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for a new plane ticket home after she chose to extend the trip without any heads up? No. Now you get some updates here. It says, update. Thank you to all the people who responded, especially the early ones that gave me some outside verification of me probably not being the asshole. I don't feel comfortable saying I'm completely blameless here, because you're only getting one side of the story, and I need to take responsibility for my part in this whole thing, such as it is. Well, I don't know what else is going on, but you enabled her behavior by spoiling her. I'm sure in the whole relationship she knew darn well that the relationship mattered more to this guy than her, hence him paying for everything and probably other nice guy behavior. So it made her arrogant and think that she could do whatever she wanted. But I guess I never realized how good my girlfriend was at making me feel like unreasonable shit was normal and rational and that I was the crazy one. In other words, gaslighting him. Every time he had an issue with how she's behaving, she would twist things around and make out like he was the bad guy and he was an idiot and wrong, and he'd end up apologizing for getting mad at her for doing stuff that she was being a jerk about. Does this sound familiar to any of you guys out there? So here's the update. We're both back in America now, and she's packing her shit to go stay with her family for a bit until she can find a new place. Hey, sounds like a good ending to me. Soon after I posted this, it was time to go to the airport, so I did without her. I'm one of those people who arrives really early because I never think I'll get to the gate on time, because everything that could go wrong possibly will go wrong. It never does, but especially with how I was feeling my luck going, I didn't want to push it. You're like me, I'm always early to the airport. I'm ridiculously early to the airport. I was there for about an hour by myself, mulling over things and talking to my mom. I looked at a couple responses to this post, but I didn't trust that I wouldn't lose it if I started responding, and I definitely didn't want it to burst into tears while at the airport. Well, you can tell this guy's hurt. Really hurt by this girl. He thought 2 years, he probably thought he was going to marry her, even though he shouldn't. Being used by her and just completely abandoning him, Oh, I want to stay here to find myself. You can't be here. As I was talking to my mom, my girlfriend showed up. I guess she thought I was bluffing, but had a rude awakening when the hotel staff kicked her out of the room because I'd only paid through that day. She showed up. Yeah, she thought you were bluffing. I took no small amount of satisfaction in this. She'd have been so concerned about the plane ticket that she didn't even stop to think about where she was going to stay. Dumbass always thought you were going to take care of everything. As many of you guessed, she met someone while we were in Italy. Shocker. Why didn't she have time to meet somebody? I mean, 2 weeks, I'm sure you're always there together in the hotel room, going to see the Colosseum or the Vatican or wherever the hell, Leaning Tower of Pizza, or wherever the hell you go. You're with each other all the time. Well, listen to this. She was quick to tell me that it was just a physical attraction and they hadn't done anything, but she has his number and was waiting to see if it would go anywhere. That's the thanks he gets for being the guy to pay for this whole 2-week thing, which you know was not cheap, as well as the last 2 years of his life, and she just met some guy and claims, nothing happened. Sure. He says, I guess that's what I get for not feeling well one night and wanting to stay in one night while she went out to explore. Yeah, the one night he stays in, boom, she's out meeting Luigi. Obviously, I told her things were over between us, even though she tried to make it sound like nothing had happened. The fact was, it was. The fact was, A, I couldn't feel like I could trust her when she said that, and B, I don't really want to be with someone who feels like it's okay to keep her options open when she's been in a monogamous relationship for the past 2 years. I think you've been in a monogamous relationship for the past 2 years. Her, I seriously doubt. Yeah, why would you want to be in a relationship with someone like that it would treat you that way? The flight home was awkward as fuck, and she really tried really hard to give another pitch for why we should stay together on the drive home from the airport. Of course, because she realized that didn't work out with Luigi in Italy, so, she's now need to, because at the end of the day, you're probably paying for everything. I think as we got closer to home, reality started settling in, and she started to realize she'd just thrown out a lot. So yeah, I'm jet lagged and physically and emotionally exhausted. I'm just kind of numb at this point. Finally, I didn't see all the comments, as there were 2,500 at the time of this update. But to the few that were downvoted into oblivion who said this was fake because I hadn't updated in several hours, fuck you. Yeah, a lot of douchebags on Reddit. I was looking for reasonable dissenting opinions that might have helped me make sense of the situation, and you're accusing me of making this up for random internet points. Believe it or not, my priority was not to tell a bunch of strangers on the internet how my world was falling apart around me. I know it's easy to think that these people aren't real and the struggles are meaningless because screens divide us, but ironically, you're the assholes. Yeah, they are the assholes. There's lots of assholes on Reddit. Well, anyhow, I'm sorry this happened to this guy. Really, I am, and I'm glad that he stuck to his guns and said, you're going to pay for this, and left. And here she shows up running to the gate at the airport. Wait. And now she's trying to fix things. And after all that, but if I'm him, once she's now out because she's moving out, I would send a group text to all the so-called friends and mutual friends that were giving him a hard time for all that, and I would tell them exactly what happened, and that she met some guy, blah, blah, blah. This is the thanks I get. I would send that thing, and by the way, and say, fuck you. I'd send that thing to all of them and then block them forever and have nothing to do with those people because they're not your friends. But there you go. So she's the a-hole, of course, and good. He's done with her. Good for him. But where did he go wrong? Because guys always go wrong in these stories. He went wrong because he was paying for everything, and him paying for the whole goddamn trip, and I'm sure he's paying for probably almost everything back home, made her feel so comfortable that she could just, he's just, my manservant. That's what happens. So guys, if you make more money than your girl, guess what? She's still paying for things, okay? It doesn't mean you should be able to enjoy that extra money because you work smart or hard or a combination of both to have a higher earning salary or something like that. I don't mind treating your girl on occasion, but if you're paying for everything all the time, you are putting yourself in a bad position to be used, okay? And she'll see that kindness as weakness, and women don't respect weakness. And also, that might show her that you're way more into the relationship than she is, making her think that she has all the power. And he told you flat out in the story that she was always what I interpret as gaslighting him, so that you connect all the dots, and that says everything. So I wish this guy the best. I'm sorry it happened to him, but he handled it right, and now she's getting her butt handed to her, and she's kicked out. That's awesome.